Welcome to Shelsley Walsh Hill Climb, a unique hill climb venue set in the northern part of the Malvern Hills in Worcestershire. It was first used in 1905 and 120 years later they're racing on the same course, making Shelsley the oldest motorsport venue in the world to still be using its original course. And today I thought we'd take a look around. The story begins 50 miles from Shelsley Walsh, here at Sunrising Hill between Stratford and Banbury. In the early 1900s, this public road was used by the Midlands Automobile Club, or MAC, as a hill climb course. They sort of just turned up and started racing, and this didn't go down too well with the local landowners and, perhaps more importantly, the police, who set up speed traps along the road to catch out these racing hooligans. Bastard! So racing on the public roads wasn't going to work for anyone. Yeah, fair enough. So the MAC went on the search of some private land on which to race their vehicles, and what they found was a fairly rubbish winding bridle path in the grounds of Courthouse Farm in Shelsley Walsh. It was overgrown and poorly surfaced, but the MAC recognised its potential, and with a bit of work and a lick of paint, it could be turned into an awesome hill climb course. After just a couple of years, the crappy path had been cleared of trees and foliage, gradients smoothed out, and a proper track surface had been laid, with the first event held on the 12th of August 1905. At the time, there was only one other purpose-built race venue known as Brooklands. Perhaps you've heard of it, but this means both Shelsley and Brooklands were immensely popular with drivers and spectators who were perhaps witnessing the beginnings of motorsport in England. It was quite simple, really. Get your vehicle from the bottom to the top of a hill as quickly as possible. And naturally, being a hill climb, there needs to be a hill, which in this case there is, and this one is rather steep in the context of race circuits, with an average gradient of 11%, increasing to 16% at the track's steepest part. The track is 3,000 feet or 915 metres long, and over the length of the course you'll rise 328 feet or 100 metres, which is bloody steep as racetracks go. So much so that on the first event back in 1905, the very first car to run up the course didn't make it to the top because it just wasn't powerful enough. Whoops. These days, it's rare to find a vehicle that can't make it to the top, but it's still a deceptively challenging course that not only is very steep, its narrowest point is only 12 foot or 3.6 metres across, and the challenging nature of Shelsley is perhaps what keeps drivers coming back year after year in pursuit of a personal or track record. Interestingly, the fastest times have dropped dramatically over the years, as one might expect, but the record in 1905 was a time of 77.6 seconds with an average speed of 26 miles per hour. In 2021, a new record was set of 22.4 seconds. I couldn't find a mention of the average speed, but apparently driver Sean Gould was doing over 100 miles an hour by the first corner, 140 miles an hour on the approach to the S section of the course, and he crossed the line at over 165 miles an hour. Mental. I'm not sure if the cars on track today will be reaching those sort of speeds. I've come down on a practice day in preparation for the Shelsley Walsh season opener event tomorrow, which incorporates the Classic Marks Championship, the Aston Martin Owners Club, and the Burt Hadley Memorial Championship, which is organised by the Austin 7 Owners Club. Burt Hadley was a bit of a legendary figure within the Austin automotive world, and not only was he an excellent driver, he spent quite a lot of time working at the Longbridge factory whilst it was under the ownership of Austin. One of the things that's really cool about Shelsley Walsh is that you're free to walk through the paddock area and have a close-up look at some of the cars, and with the variety of cars that are on track today, yeah, I've been busy. Don't even know what car this is. F***ing fast one, I assume. But what else can you do when in Shelsley Walsh? Well, there's the old watermill, constructed sometime around the 16 or 1700s, but it's believed a watermill has been situated here since at least the 1300s. It was last used in the 1920s to make animal feed, which makes a lot of sense given we're in a rural area and we're on a farm. Today, the mill has been fully restored and is now a visitor attraction. Next door is the 12th century St Andrew's Church, made out of what's called tufa or tufa, I don't know. This is a type of limestone that's formed when carbonate minerals precipitate out of water, which is very interesting, but what's more interesting is that it only happens in a handful of places in the UK, one of which turns out to be Shelsley. As you wander around the site, keep an eye out for the memorial plaque in honour of Sir Stirling Moss, that rather well-known racing driver who made his competition racing debut at Shelsley as a teenager in 1948 and setting a new track record in 1949. Moss's early successes resulted with an invite to join the Jaguar Factory Works team, leading to his first Le Mans appearance in 1951 and the continuation of a legendary racing career. It's always good to have a look in the car park at these sort of places because you never know what you're going to find, and there are some very lovely automobiles, such as this one. Nice Saab. I've never seen one of these before. This is a Ginetta of some description. I've heard of Ginetta, but I didn't know they did road cars. GT4 RS with some hideous bolt-on tat. Do they come like this from factory? Fucking hell. Oh, now we're talking. A Lotus Elan, or an MGTF, isn't it? It's another Lotus Elan. There's two in the same place, unheard of. And then, of course, the classic 2000 Toyota Corolla, Vida specification, no less. That's a lovely TVR. He's arrived later than everybody else because I assume he's been sat on the side of the motorway for the last 3 hours. What a bloody lovely day out this is, offering all kinds of nostalgia and entertainment. And if you come down on a test day like it is today, it's free entry, so there's no excuse really. If you want to go a bit further, you can volunteer to be a marshal on event days. And of course, via the MAC or several other car clubs, you can sign up and bring your car down for a run up the oldest running hill climb in the world. I hope you enjoyed this little look around Shelsley Walsh. If you've ever raced here or visited, let us know how you got on via the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And if you've never been here, which until today I hadn't, it's absolutely worth the trip. The setting is exquisite and there's just a nice vibe about the place. I can't see how anyone could come here and have a bad day. Thanks very much for watching. See you soon. I've come down on the Shelsley. And then she said, pull it out and that'll do. I've come down on a practice day in preparation for the Shelsley Walsh season opener event.